Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be playing with all 5 of the brand new Beauty Blender brushes. I bought these after seeing them on Trend Mood's page. At first I was like, what is that? Because a lot of them have this little ball at the bottom of it. I kind of scrolled past it at first because I was like, whatever. And then I got kind of interested. I was like, I feel like I just want to play with something completely different, completely out of the box, so I decided I was going to pick these up. So I did. I picked up all 5 of them, and today I am going to demonstrate them on my face. I'm going to tell you about each of the brush, how much it costs, if I think it is worth it or not, and what the deal is with this little ball at the end. I'm going to start off with this brush right here, which is called the Big Boss, and it is an all-over powder brush with a cooling roller at the bottom. On Beauty Blender's website it reads, "Meet the double-ended powder brush that never makes you look overdone. An innovative cooling roller ball tip sculpts and depuffs so skin appears prepped and lifted before makeup application." So you're able to take this right here. It does roll all by itself, and you can kind of go underneath the eyes right here. You can go up the cheek if you wanted to. I just had a tooth extracted, so if like I'm talking funny or anything like that, I feel like my tongue is getting, it's weird. Anyway, you can do this, whatever. It does feel cooling to the touch, but it's more of something that I like to do during my skincare application, and I don't really keep my skincare out with my makeup, so I don't know. I played with this a little bit, but I didn't really find it to do too much, but you are able to do that with this brush. Cruelty-free synthetic bristles mimic real hair and offer an unbelievably soft touch. The full fluffy head has the ideal density to deliver a soft diffused powder application that never looks heavy-handed or cakey. I do have to agree that this is very soft, and I have washed all of these just because I like to see if they're gonna hold up after one washing or if they're gonna spray out or do anything like that. Every one of them went back to their original shape, so this looks just brand new. But when I was applying my Chanel powder with this, it felt so soft. It was just like, this truly is an extremely soft powder brush. And I even applied my bronzer with this. I went in with my JOUER bronzer, just went back and forth, and I applied it. It blended out really well. It went on nicely. The actual brush part of this, 2 thumbs up. I love the way it feels. I love the shape of it. It's not too big. It's not too small. It applies my powder really well. I did really well with the bronzer. So I actually like this powder brush if it didn't have this little doohickey at the bottom. There's a couple of reasons why I wouldn't suggest this brush. The biggest one being that it is $60, and I feel like this is gimmicky. I really do feel that that's gimmicky, and not only do I feel that this is a little bit gimmicky, I feel like the brush would actually feel better in my hands without this heavy thing at the bottom. I'm not kidding, it is so heavy on the end of this that when I'm doing my powder, I find it easier almost to hold the brush all the way at the front because of how heavy the back end of this is. So I find this to be uncomfortable. I think that if they were going to do this rollerball thing, they should have just made one particular brush or one rollerball, meaning they should have had one handle and a ball at the end of it if they wanted to go with it. But I see that they're trying to do something different, but I don't like it on this brush. It feels so heavy. So I wouldn't suggest anyone pay $60 for this brush. If they had taken the ball off and just made it a regular brush and made it like $30, $35, I would have absolutely said it was worth it. Next, let's move on to the Player, which is a 3-way brow brush. You have this really nice spoolie with a plastic kind of cover right over here, which is another comb. I actually really like this because it's very similar to what I love about the 24-hour brow setter. This is from Benefit, and it has like a comb at the end. I love this. It has a little plastic comb, and this is very similar to it, that pink part. So you can really get in there and brush everything out and have more of a defined type of look. And then you have your angled brush at the end. This brush is $28 and it says stiff angled bristles help lay down brow powders, creams, gels, and waxes with ease. I use this today with just my brow powder to be able to kind of fill in my brows. And then I did use this just a little bit on camera to kind of comb it out, but I didn't get to use the pink part on camera like I should have done. A double-sided spoolie allows you to brush and blend brows, while a comb helps separate and define lashes. So funny to me that the thing that I like about this so much is actually for the lashes, and that makes sense, to help separate. I never ever do that, but I really like this for the pink part of it. This side is definitely just a typical standard, you know, brow brush, whatever. But overall, I mean, I think this is a good one. I would prefer this to a lot of the other brushes I have for brows. I don't use brow powders a lot, but I think if you're somebody who does, that this would be a good brush to do. And I like that it doesn't have really anything gimmicky on it. I can see how this would be taken as gimmicky, but I actually think that one's pretty innovative. I like this. So this brush is a good one. Now we're going to move on to the eye brushes, and there's 3 different ones. The first one I'm going to talk about is this one right here, which is called the Shady Lady All Over Eyeshadow Brush and Cooling Roller. This retails for $30. It reads, densely packed bristles and medium-sized tapered head allows the brush to perfectly lay down eyeshadow with major pigment payoff and less fallout. The cruelty-free synthetic fibers are ultra soft on the delicate eye area and applies powders or cream with a high impact finish. I use this end right here with my Estee Lauder palette, and I applied my lid shade, and I was even able to kind of go into the crease a little bit. I took this at the end after I had done something else to my eye, and I even picked up the highlight shade and went right at the brow arch with this. This is really nice. It applied very well. I like this end, but again, we have a cooling roller. So as you can see, this ball on this one is a little smaller than the one on the powder brush. It's definitely easier to get underneath the eye if you're somebody who is going to do that, but I'm just going to say it again. If they had done just one little thing like this with no brush on the end of it, it would have been cool, but I don't like it on the end of the brush. Again, with this one and the other brush and the next brush I'm about to talk to, it is heavy. I don't like this on the end of the brush. Even if it didn't cost any extra to have it on there, I don't like the weight of this on the end. The actual brush in of itself applied very well. I like the brush. You could even use this for concealer underneath your eyes if you wanted to. Brush is fine. Rollerball is and that brush retails for $30. Now I'm going to show you the next eyeshadow brush, which is the crease brush or high roller crease brush with cooling roller. And that is this brush right here, and it retails for $33. I was able to use this just like it says. I was putting color right into the crease transition area. I deepened up the outer V with it. It applied and blended shadows out really nicely. The details read, whether you're a smoky eye pro or a makeup minimalist, this fluffy crease brush allows for a perfect blend, regardless of your skill set. No matter your lid shape, the ultra soft, cruelty-free synthetic brushes strike the ideal balance between control and flexibility to create a perfect blend without all the effort. So I have to agree, this was a really effortless brush to use. I like the way it felt on my eyes. I like the way it blended. It worked really well. It's going to tell you about that rollerball again, and I'm not going to read that part again. Just know that it's there, and it's the same size as the one on the last eyeshadow brush. The last brush I'm going to talk about is this one right here. It is the Wingman Curved Eyeliner Brush, and it retails for $22. This one's actually pretty cool. I show you guys me starting my wing, but all I did was like get right here and start it, and then I started to fill it in. I was like, I know I'm gonna mess this up. And I did, and so my wings ended up a little bit thicker than I wanted to. This is what happens whenever I try to do something on camera that I'm not used to doing on camera, but you guys get the gist. This actually applies a line really, really well. The shape of this is very unique. I have nothing like this in my entire collection. And according to Beauty Blender, it says, never again will eyeliner application slow you down. This first to market brush introduces a curved head shape which helps create a steady flick every single time. The cruelty-free tapered bristles are specially designed to hug the lash line for high precision application for gel, liquid, or powder formulas without any gaps or crooked wings. The first pro to this, other than the really unique design, is that it does not have a cooling roller ball at the end, so it doesn't make it hard to use. That really would have been difficult when trying to use this for the liner. This is something that I'm going to have to get used to. I have to say that it really did create a flick right here, the easiest I have ever done it, and it's so thin that it makes it really, really sharp. Now, where I had some difficulties was kind of filling it in. I found that you almost kind of had to paint a little bit to get it to kind of fill in down. Like, you can't keep making this motion because it's so thin that it's going to take forever to really fill it in. So kind of dragging it and applying a little pressure will help to fill it in. The one thing that kind of went wrong on this side was because it is so thin, when you get product on there, it can make the bristles kind of separate and stay separated. So I messed up the flick on this side. So I think this is going to be like a little bit of a learning curve, but I like the shape of this. I think this is really neat. I feel like this is definitely a great one if you struggle with just getting your wing to be just as sharp as you want it and as straight as you want it. This is definitely going to do it. This is definitely going to do it, but it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me whenever I'm trying to fill it in. It's just something I'm not used to, but it's really, really neat. So I think out of all of them, this is the most creative one. Again, I don't have anything like it in my collection, and it did end up working. For my overall thoughts on the brushes, the top half, not the bottom half, I think that these are really nice. I think they perform well. The fibers are really soft and luxurious feeling. I'm not a huge fan of synthetic brushes, but I do like the actual brushes on here. I think that where they messed up is definitely with the roller balls. Not only is it gimmicky, but it makes the brush a little uncomfortable to use in your hands, especially this one. This is just so heavy. I feel like if they were going to take that route, like I said before, just taking them off the end, lowering the price point, because I don't feel like $60 is justified because you have a roller ball at the end, especially if you buy the entire set. Then you have 3 roller balls. You don't need all of them. They should have made just 1 roller ball. They could have even made 2 different sizes if you wanted to on a handle, and it would have been fine. And they could have dropped the price point, and I think more people would have been interested in these. Being that they are so expensive and they are kind of gimmicky, I would say that they are a pass, other than the liner brush and the Mel video I dropped on the floor. 3-way brow brush. Both of those are pretty neat, especially the liner. I like that one the best. Now on to a completely different note. I want to talk about the actual Beauty Blender in of itself. So I had gotten a few comments on my page that, hey Mel, have you tried the Beauty Blender recently or bought a new one? Have you had any issues with it? I personally don't buy Beauty Blenders anymore because I have so many sponges now that I feel are better than the Beauty Blender and are half the cost. So I don't buy them anymore. However, I loved the Beauty Blender. I thought this was an amazing sponge, and for a long time, you could not get me to use anything else. When I had gotten more than one comment asking about the Beauty Blender, I decided that when I purchased these brushes, I was also going to purchase a brand new Beauty Blender and then see if it was different. And you guys, it is. This is definitely different. I even could tell when I was doing my makeup, I have used this foundation before, and when I use it with my other sponges, it goes on smoother. This almost has like a little bit of texture to it. Like they've definitely changed something. I emailed them, reached out and said, hey, I was just kind of wondering, you know, did you guys change something or did I get a defective sponge? And yeah, they said that they have not changed the sponge. and that all of them are different sizes, shapes, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But this is completely different. This does not feel like a beauty blender. If you had given this to me blindly, I would not have said this was a beauty blender. So I'm not sure what is going on with that. But for those of you that did comment and ask me about it, I have to agree with you. This does not feel like the same quality of the $20 original Beauty Blender sponge. I don't know what's going on. But anywho, I hope you guys liked this video, found it informative or fun to watch. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.